Only 47% of voters aged 18 to 29 in the 2024 presidential election actually cast ballots. In past years, voters under 30 have proved essential for Democrats. Vice President Harris hoped those voters would be part of her winning coalition. Instead, it was Trump who made gains. Since 2008, winning Democratic candidates have received at least 60% support from young voters, but Harris did not come close to that. Because that's a major challenge for Democrats in coming elections, we have as our guest today Connor Treacy, a California political organizer who's working to involve young voters through high impact events for progressive organizations. A former nightlife executive turned civic strategist, Connor blends culture with activism to mobilize and empower the next generation. He serves as outreach officer for the Delray Neighborhood Council and produces events for Stonewall Democratic Club, among other progressive organizations. Hey, Connor, thanks for joining us on the Lean to the Left podcast, man. I appreciate it.
Hey Bob, thanks for having me on and thanks for the intro. Appreciate it.
Okay. Tell me, why do you think participation by young voters is so low?
I don't know necessarily the full reason why, but I felt Harris had a tough time just in general because I don't think she was given the full amount of runway for her campaign because I feel like she announced it during the summer, right? Before the election happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't even know if it's like fully fair to make a comparison because I don't know if she was like given the full runway to even do a
Yeah,
full.
aside from that, though, Connor, I'm wondering if there are factors, aside from Harris, factors that moved young voters away from the Democratic side to Trump.
Yeah.
And what were they, if they were? You're in that group, right?
Yeah. So I think two big things that come to mind was like institutional either type organizations or people shifting. I think Elon Musk switching to back Trump was a big one. And then I think like even groups like the UFC kind of backing Trump. It's like a lot of younger demographics, I think, look up to both of those entities. And I think when that shift happened, I don't know if that's like fully the reason, but I think like things like that definitely, I believe, were like a big factor.
Did you, during the run up to the election, did you have conversations with peers who switched? And if so, what was their reason? What did they tell you?
Personally, I just feel like a lot of people, I think, were just unhappy with the economy.
Yeah.
And I think like financially, they were just hurting.
Hmm.
I still don't know if I don't think that's been fixed. I think it's maybe worse now, but I think that was maybe like one factor. And I don't know. I feel like it really just came down to the economy. And I think Trump was just able to lock in certain younger demographics through things like the Elon Musk, UFC, and then even going on like the Joe Rogan podcast. I feel like that was a big one. I think like the assassination attempt that happened, there was like certain factors leading up, and then also just the fact that Biden stepped down during that summer and then Kamala just came in after that, and it's just
Yeah, okay.
it was just like a perfect concoction of
Right.
great.
All right. Tell me this. How can cultural events like nightlife and music encourage more young voters to participate in the process?
Yeah, I'm not gonna like sit here and say that that's the all and be all, but I feel like how I'm able to help or contribute is I obviously have over a decade long experience in nightlife and hospitality and music, and the way that I'm able to help is by setting up and putting together progressive events. So I just did one with Stonewall 2 weekends ago. I'm helping organize an after party for the California Democratic Convention May 30th, and that's going to be with the Working Families Party. They're a great organization and they're definitely like more progressive leaning, but I just I was introduced to them a couple months ago, went to the AOC Bernie rally, and so I'm helping them do that event in Anaheim. I'm also doing something with them this Thursday, like a smaller thing. So I feel like the way I'm able to help is by creating a community, younger voters and just people in general that want to get involved in politics maybe and don't know how to can show up to these events, network, and find ways to get involved. So I feel like the way I'm trying to help at least is by building community.
How is it that is this a way that people can connect with the candidates can connect with underserved communities that are often left out of traditional organizing?
Yeah, no, for sure. So actually, a, a lot of these events, what I've realized is I've only done a couple of them, but the format is definitely a bit different. Usually, like I'll DJ it for 30 minutes, and then a few different either candidates or electeds will speak, and then I'll finish afterwards and do a set. So there's definitely like an element of talking and communicating with the group and stuff like that. So I feel like it's actually a great opportunity for just anybody to come and like really meet people that are either running for office or in office. And in some of these cases, I think the event at the California Democratic Convention, I think that'll be like at least 200 or 300 people that'll be at that. But some of these, it's 30 or 40 people showing up. So you really could talk to these folks if you want.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So it's a way to attract them by using the music as opposed to just ordinary speeches and stuff.
I think just like giving it a little bit of a twist, making it a little bit fun, and it's a way to build community with people that you have the same beliefs and values with, and you're able to meet these people that are really in the political industry and realize, hey, like I actually could just go up and talk to them right now at the bar and talk to them about certain points and stuff. So I
Uh,
think it's like a great opportunity, honestly, for both ends.
yeah. What's the reaction when you do it? Is it working out?
Yeah, I think that people really like it. I think that it's fun and also it's a weird time in general because I feel like a lot of the like nightclubs and like the nightlife industry in general right now is also stale. So I feel like right now it's a perfect fusion of like people that still want to go out and have fun, but they're also able to do something that's like new and fresh and also just positive. You know what I mean? So they're able to have drinks with their friends and talk about real issues and talk about ways they can like really make an impact on what they believe in. So I think that people really like it. I would just say it's still like super early. Like really the first event I did was with Stonewall 2 weeks ago. And then the big one that I have next is the party for the California Democratic Convention. So I feel like it's gonna start moving pretty quick, but I haven't fully merged both of the worlds yet, where like I have all of the nightlife music people and then I have the political people, but once it fuses, I feel like it could become like a big thing.
Do you have a problem getting performers to come knowing that it's going to be a political event like that?
I don't think so. I think that first off, so I went to the AOC Bernie rally in downtown LA
Yeah.
like maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago or something. And Neil Young performed and Maggie Rogers performed. There was some like really big acts. So I think that there's definitely artists that want to get involved. It's just knowing where they may sit on the political spectrum. But I definitely think that I think artists want to get involved. And I think people really support it. I think like some of them just don't know how to really even do it. So I think hopefully by me keep doing these events and building the momentum, like that'll start happening organically, which I think it will.
Do you plan on expanding this beyond California?
I don't know. Like, I think that like my whole career in general, like it started off super raw and like organic, where I was just doing house parties in people's backyards, and now like I did all this. So when I was like a teenager, so it's I don't know ever really what's gonna happen, but
Yeah.
I definitely could see this becoming something where now with the election cycle coming into play, yeah, we probably could start doing like pop-up events in different states or maybe on the next like presidential cycle run like we're doing big. So I definitely think it could get bigger. I just it literally started officially like a couple weeks ago, but
Why
it's
did you decide to start going on podcasts and stuff to promote it?
a few reasons. One, so I've already been at a super high level as far as like nightlife goes. Like I've was one of the biggest, if not the biggest promoter and when I was in my early 20s. And then I like co-owned a nightclub for 3 years. So I've been around celebrities and celebrity culture since for 10 years or something like that. And it's like taboo to talk about it. You know what I mean? Especially because I'm like the trusted behind the scenes person. So I never really would talk about it. And I still don't really I won't like necessarily like drop names per
Right.
se, but I feel like now I'm at a place where like I don't even need that to talk on podcasts, but I think that like right now is an important time, and I think that these events and what we're doing is important, and I think it people should at least have a chance to like find out about it, because if they come, like maybe they want to get, because I was one of those people. I wanted to get involved for a couple of years.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't really know how to.
yeah. The reason I asked you that question is because podcasts have national reach. At least a lot of them do. Mine
Yeah.
does. Yeah, and that would tell me that you got some ideas about moving this thing a little bit beyond the borders of California.
I definitely think that it can,
Mhm.
and I definitely would like love to. It's just I hate making predictions, because if you ever read like old interview, like anything I ever say is wrong, but then something else becomes a hit. So I hate making like projections, but sure, I definitely think that if these events continue to grow and grow bigger, sure, whoever on the Democratic side ends up running for president, like maybe this turns into a thing where we travel and do events and build cult, but it could morph into something totally different. So that's why
Mhm.
I hate making the
Mhm.
predictions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But I definitely want to grow it. That, yeah, if that's
Yeah.
what you're,
All right. All right. Fine.
yeah.
The California Democratic Convention is coming up. What are you going to do there?
So basically, I talked to this nightclub that's maybe I think 5 minutes away or something. I don't know the exact distance, but it's pretty close. And
Mhm.
we're just gonna do a party. And we're gonna have it's for 2 hours. It's from 8 to 10. And we're gonna have some electeds, some people that are in office, some people are gonna run for office. They're gonna speak, and then I'm gonna DJ. And this is with the Working Families Party.
The Working Families Party?
Yeah.
What's that? I never heard of it.
So I heard about
Hmm.
because I watched AOC's documentary on Netflix,
Okay.
and I then looked her up on Wikipedia, and I saw that like she was aligned with Working Families Party.
Okay.
They're just like a more progressive leaning group.
Okay.
Still sits within like the beliefs that I have and what I support.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that a little bit, about your political beliefs and where did they come from and why?
I just feel like I had I'm trying to think of the word to describe it. I grew up in LA, like in Venice in the 90s.
All
So
right.
I had a very mixed upbringing. I feel like I grew up very young, very fast. I was around a lot of different types of people, grew up going to public schools, was around like just a lot of different things. And believe in, I just feel like everyone should be treated equally, should have a fair shot. And some of this stems from the way I was brought up, and some of this stems from like how I came up in the entertainment industry. I think at the core of it, like I believe in like racial justice. I believe in LGBTQ plus rights. I believe that like workers should be paid fairly, like just simple basic things like that, I guess
Hmm.
is like the core of what I believe in. But
You're a real radical, man.
really, am I crazy for saying that?
You're a real radical, man. You want people to be treated fairly. That's just a radical idea.
Yeah, that's the core of what I believe in. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I don't, maybe that's like controversial, but
How is it controversial? What do you think about the way things are going right now with Trump and Musk and his people that are kissing his butt?
I think it's definitely sad to see so many people losing their jobs, and to see like the way that the LGBTQ plus community is being scrutinized. It's just tough. Like I feel bad for a lot of people, and it's definitely not easy times right now. But hopefully I always think that the future will be better.
Yeah, let's hope. All right. So some of the events that you've organized, like fundraisers, candidate forums. You have done that, right? Fundraisers and candidate forums. Yeah.
So I just did a forum, or I just did a fundraiser 2 weekends ago
Yeah.
with Stonewall.
Okay.
I'm actually the chair of major events for Stonewall.
Okay. Cool. Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm co-doing it with someone else right now, but I
Hmm.
officially probably will start where I'm the sole person doing it. I think like in the next like month or two. There's
Hmm.
a steering meeting I think that we have to do to finalize that. But yeah, we're doing a big event for them on for their 50th anniversary in November, and that'll raise a lot of money. And then I also do the social media for a guy named Mike Newhouse, and he's running for state senate. I have my hands in a few different pots right now, but mainly on the event side, it's with Stonewall and Working Families Party.
What do you think about Gavin Newsom as a candidate for president?
Um, I personally think that like he would do like a solid job, or I feel like he's level-headed. I definitely know that there's some people in like some of the groups that I'm in that weren't happy with some of the interviews he's done recently and don't know if he's progressive enough.
He seems to be kind of walking the balance beam, I guess you could say, trying to be a little bit less progressive in people's perception. Is that the way you see it?
Yeah, I think maybe it's tough. I think maybe he's trying to come off as a bit more moderate and just a bigger demographic of just voters and people in general. But as far as like leaders go, if we got him next, I still think he would do like he seems like a solid guy. But yeah, I
Hmm.
think like some of the moves he's made recently shifts away from what a lot of the progressive bases like value. And so I'm not gonna like say like he's the perfect candidate or something for everyone on.
Yeah, who would you pick if do you have any thoughts about that right now as to who you would prefer, whether it be him or somebody else?
I don't even know. It's
Yeah.
so hard to know right now
Yeah,
who.
it's very soon, very early.
Yeah.
People are feeling their way right now, and a lot of governors and a couple of senators, I guess, and we'll see what happens. Would you say though that you are a committed progressive Democrat, right?
I definitely lean more progressive. I would
Yeah,
say I'm more progressive than moderate. So I would probably support more of a progressive candidate. Don't know who's running
right.
in so far, so I don't really, it's hard for me to say.
Yeah, it's a little early to be asking those kind of questions.
Yeah.
So, what do you think the Democratic Party should do to recapture young voters
I
besides throw a
definitely,
bunch of parties,
yeah, not throw, yeah. Uh,
which I happen to think is a great idea?
really?
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. What do you have to lose by taking a typically boring political meeting and bringing in some music and some entertainment and opening the doors to people who would like to enjoy that? What's wrong with that? Nothing, my opinion.
Yeah. Give it a little fun twist.
Sure.
Maybe mirror some of the stuff like but the complete polar opposite of what Trump did. Like just do a bunch of these like podcasts with more left-leaning progressive like viewerships. I don't even know what group comes to mind, but something that's more of like a democratic version of the UFC. Like just different things where like it's I just think that like you got to like think outside of the box where there's already like these built-in fan bases and people. And then
Mm.
I think that's the way to do it because it seems like it's shifting more towards that than like just talking on interviews on CNN or something like that.
Yeah. What's UFB? What's that?
UFC, the ultimate fight, the
Oh, the fighting thing.
yeah, that's I feel like Trump, I don't know, I wouldn't necessarily say he's like the face of it, but he's like really good friends with the guy that owns it or
Oh,
something.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
That's I felt like that and the Musk thing, like both of those cosigns like really helped him. That and then the Joe Rogan podcast. There were like a few of those. So if you can do the Democrat version of that,
Right.
then that's what I feel like needs to happen. And I don't quite know what that is yet, but I feel like that's what would shift it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So how can people learn more about what you do, Connor?
So basically, I have a website. You can go to connortracy.com. I have Instagram. It's instagram.com/the Connor Tracy. And then you can just Google me. Like I have a bunch of stuff on there. Anything in that realm. And I got LinkedIn too. It's my name.
Hmm.
You can find me
Okay.
scattered around places.
Okay, good. Got anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's about it.
All right, we covered enough, huh?
This honestly was great, and hopefully this helps build out some more people finding out about the events and the cause and everything like that.
Hey guys, I'm Bob Gatty, founder and host of Lean to the Left. I'm excited to share our new book, Hijack Nation: Donald Trump's Attack on America's Greatness, co-authored with political analyst and professor C.J. Waldron. In Hijack Nation, we delve into the unfolding story of America's political landscape through a series of essays from leantotheleft.net. We explore how Donald Trump's presidency has transformed American politics, challenging our values and institutions. Hijack Nation isn't just a book, it's a call to action. It invites you to reflect on what it means to be American in a divided political landscape. Together we can reclaim our nation's greatness. So get your copy of Hijack Nation today. Visit leantotheleft.net and click on the Books tab to learn more and to order.